Hello guys, welcome to another amazing video. This video is going to be a comparison video of implementing custom fonts in React Native and Expo powered apps. So without wasting time, let's start our tutorial. Firstly, this is an Expo project setup. We have already set up an Expo project and we have this home screen which is displaying right now this welcome message. So in case of Expo, we will require, there are two ways of doing implementing custom fonts. So I will be explaining them both. Firstly, we will try the Google font version. It's really easy to implement. We will need two libraries for that and we will install them. First one is the Expo font library, and the other library that we will be installing is based on the Google font. For example, we'll go to the site to browse the fonts. For example, we will select this font family. We will require package Expo Google font, and after the slash we have to write the font family. So this Google font has also been installed. Now we will import this library. We will require useFont hook from this font library, this Monster font family, and after that we can include any type of font that is available with this Monster font family, like Monster thin. You can see that whichever font you want to have in your app, you can import that. For example, for now we will take regular and we will take bold font family. And after these fonts are imported, the next step is to use them. To use these fonts, we'll take fonts loaded and font error, use fonts, and this use fonts takes an object in which we have to use all these fonts that we want to use throughout your app. For example, regular and bold, we are using these two fonts, so we will just include these two fonts in the object. And another conditional will be, if not fonts are loaded or we have any kind of error in loading the fonts, if fonts are not loaded or font error, then we will return null. This is just a check to not load the app till the fonts are not loaded. So when we will save this project, these fonts are now loaded in our app. Now to use these fonts, what we have to do, we have to only just use the style, and inside of the style we will have to define the font family, and for example we will use regular font for this. When we say, you can see on the right side the font is already implemented, and now we will use the bold font for the heading. So you can see that the bold font family is also included easily in this app. So this is the case about if we want some Google fonts in our app, we can use directly them with this Expo Google Fonts library, and we can easily implement them. Now if we have some custom fonts, for example we have downloaded some custom font, we can also implement them. For example, right now we have these files, these fonts here, this fonts directory. What we will do is we will just copy these fonts and we will create another and inside of the assets we will fonts over here. Now we have our custom font copied into the assets directory. Now the next step is its usage. Its usage is almost same as that of the Google fonts, but for this we will use the useFont from the Expo font rather than from the Google font library. So now we will take to loaded and error from use fonts, and this use fonts also takes an object, and the first element is to be the name of the font family. For example, here we will write bold, and its value will be the actual font. We will require that font src/assets/fonts/ttf, and the other font that we will include will be the medium one. And the path will be medium. So after including these fonts, now we will write a conditional. If the fonts are not loaded or we have any kind of error, then we will return no, and after that we will just use this font like the previous one, font family. Here we will not write the name that we defined earlier, bold, and we will save. We can see on the right side the font has been implemented as required, and for this one also we will use it like this, medium. When we save, we can see that this medium font is also implemented correctly on the right side. So these are the two ways by which we can add custom fonts in an Expo powered app. Now the comparison is with the React Native CLI powered app, and now I will be showing you how to implement these fonts, these custom fonts, in the React Native CLI powered app. This is our React Native CLI project setup. This is the app.js file having these two text field of heading and subheading. Now we will be implementing our custom font in the React Native CLI powered project. For example, we have a fonts, this fonts directory. We will copy this fonts directory into our src, and inside we will create an assets directory, and inside of the assets we will paste this fonts library. So the next step is to create a React Native config file in the root directory of the project. This React Native config file is important to define the configurations required throughout our app. So we will create React Native config.js file, and inside of this config file we will be defining our assets directory. So we will define module.exports, and inside of it we will define our assets, and we will enter the URL for the assets, that is src slash assets slash fonts. Now we will go to our command line, and we will enter a command to link these fonts to our project. For that, the command is npx so when we will enter this command will link all our fonts to our Android directory and the iOS directory. These font, since it's a beer CLI project, so these fonts need to be just linked with the Android Gradle system. So this command does it for us. So we can see that when we go to the Android, inside the app src and inside of the assets, we can see that these fonts have been copied successfully, and also some manifests. Also these files are included in the manifest section also. So now the next step is the usage. The usage is simple as we used earlier. Inside of the style, we will have to define the font family, and for this change to take place, we will have to reinstall the app on our Android virtual device. For that, we will just press A into our Metro bundler, as I have already done, and it will just reinstall the package, the app, into our virtual device. So now the app will open up. And we can see that on the right side the font family has been applied successfully. And now for this one also we will use the font family dash. You can see that this font is also included successfully on the right side. Unlike Expo, we don't need to just manually acquire all the fonts and write the conditional. In the React Native CLI powered apps, these fonts, after we link the fonts, these can be used on the go as it is. So this marks to an end of this comparison video tutorial, rather implementation of the fonts in React Native and Expo powered apps. Hope I have cleared all your doubts regarding the font usage in the Expo or React Native powered apps. If you thought that this video was helpful and helped you in any possible way, please drop a like and just subscribe to the channel if you are new. Till the next video, bye bye, happy coding.